Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another League of Legends match here with NIU. Sorry for the delay in getting things ready to go. There was some issues on the Twitch end, and so we weren't able to get it up and running quite as well as we'd wanted to. But thank you guys for joining us. We've got NIU versus Eastern Michigan coming up here in just a second. This one's going to be a pretty big match within the Esports Collegiate Conference because this match will very likely determine kind of where the seating in the middle of the playoffs is going to land. With a win here tonight, as well as a little bit of help in the last few matches, NIU could find themselves in a tie for fourth place with Buffalo and Eastern Michigan. That, in theory, would potentially be brought to a fastest win time tiebreaker. So there's a lot kind of going on with that one. We'll have to watch where that goes. With a loss here tonight, it becomes much more difficult for NIU to find themselves as the fourth or fifth seed. There is still mathematical ways that that could happen, but it becomes less likely. So this one's going to be very interesting in that way. Otherwise, thank you to Ethan Noodle for helping us out with the production. As always, lovely shots of NIU running on through there. And we should have you guys the live broadcast from the esports arena very shortly as we get into Champion Select. We've got a few more things in store for you. Ethan's been in the kitchen all day today, and so there's going to be some cool things, so you won't want to miss that. But we should be getting ready for draft very soon here. And on top of that, believe it or not, today Riot decided to give everybody gifts because they decided to tell you and me and everybody out there that they're going to bring back Hextech chests. And on top of that, they also decided to give our collegiate players a gift of their own in that they have said, as of today, that League Unlocked is back, which means for you, well, not for you, I guess, but for all of our players, we're going to be back into draft in the client for the first time this season. So that means that you guys at home are going to see draft just as it happens with the delay included. So unfortunately, your chat messages are going to come 2 minutes after the video, but to you, they'll be live. So always live in our hearts. Uh, with that, let's go ahead and run down the lineups here for these two teams. So, on the side of Eastern Michigan, we are looking at we're seeing up in the top lane, it's going to be Zero. In the jungle, it's going to be Riat. That one is a that one is in Japanese characters. So when you hear Riat, know that that is their jungler. Um, in the side of Eastern Michigan. In the mid lane, it's going to be Lance Romance for the side of Eastern Michigan. Waffle Pig will be the ADC, and Drywall Boxer is going to be in the support role. For NIU, they're moving to a little bit of a different lineup today, and it's going to be up in the top lane, Swolpingu. Fury going to be manning the jungle once again. Beast Fridge going to be getting the start here in the mid lane. Snark going to be the ADC, and Otter is going to be in the support role. Those guys are coached by I'm So Boosted Y or Bebo, and welcome on in as we should be getting ready to go in just a second here. Like I mentioned, we had to restart stream. Sounds like Eastern Michigan had the same issue, so there's something going on with Twitch's servers. Um, so that's kind of what the delay is in getting into some game here. Um, all right, like like we said, we've already gone through some of the confusion, or not confusion, but standings in that. Um, Here's where the confusion came in. So if there has been any confusion as to why there was not a stream last night, that match has been rescheduled for NIU Overwatch. That will be played on Sunday at 7 p.m. At the same time, the match versus Toledo for the match versus Toledo for NIU Overwatch is going to be played tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and we are into draft. So here we go. We'll go ahead and get you that schedule at a later date. But for now, we're going to go ahead and see what happens. And right off the bat, well, that's an interesting band. That's going to be the Garen band away. Swolpingu had been kind of hovering towards that. We've seen it around. We know that especially with that new the new build and the Axiom Arcanist rune, there has been a lot of prio on that Garen across the board. That's going to be taken off the board. Aurora going to be the answer from NIU, and then Corky banned away by the side of Eastern Michigan, and Eastern Michigan is really pushing towards this top lane matchup. Going to ban away the Camille as well. Heimerdinger also banned by NIU. Let's see where that final ban goes towards. It is going to be the LeBlanc taken off the board here by NIU. Eastern Michigan will hover the Ivern. Would be a different look than you typically see in the Esports Collegiate Conference or really in pro play right now. Yeah, that's going to be the Varus locked in instead. A little bit more of a poke champ. We've seen historically that Eastern Michigan has been quick to pick that champ. Ashe going to be the hover here for NIU. See if that is the direction that they end up going. As this first rotation, they could answer the ADC pick, and we'll see if they decide to do that. Taking their time, and they are going to go ahead and lock in the Ashe here to answer the Varus. Where do they want to go with this second pick in the first rotation? Obviously, this is going to be a blind pick since they've already answer picked the top lane. It's going to be the Viego here. So given Fury a little bit more priority here with this pick, obviously Ashe going to be a little more utility of an ADC, and NIU going to pick up the Viego for Fury, so giving him a little bit of a carry champion there in the jungle. Let's see where Riat goes here. Will it be an answer of the junglers? It is indeed. It's going to be the Xin Zhao. And so far it's been like for like, tit for tat on the draft as we go. Teemo going to be the hover. I would not expect that to be played. You almost never see that in these types of matches. And indeed, it's not. It's going to be the Syndra picked up here for Lance Romance. Will NIU answer the mid lane? You would imagine that might be the direction they go, considering that the last couple bans could then be utilized on supports for both pools or top laners for both pools. But we'll see if that is indeed how NIU decides to answer this. Getting through to the end, it is going to be the Galio here for Beast Fridge into the Syndra of Lance Romance. NIU gonna have a ban here. Like I said, it's probably gonna be top lane and support focused, all things considered. Now that those are the two that are open on both of these teams, you'd have to imagine. Malphite gonna be the ban here from the side of NIU. Definitely been a little bit more prio on that champion of the last couple of weeks that we've been seeing. Dr. Mundo going to be banned away, and so yes, it is going to be the top lane pool being extremely pinched. Luckily, top lane, definitely a role that has quite a bit of openness in the types of champions that are being played at this time. So, just a little bit of a change here. And so, we know that historically, Zero's been one to play quite a few tanks. We'll see where that priority goes. Ornn going to be taken off the board from NIU. We know that, again, Zero playing a lot of those tanks. Ornn been one of his picks that's been making its way around. Pantheon, again, just so many top lane bans. And so we'll see if the support pick is picked here, or if it is a counter pick towards the top side in this one. Will NIU blind their top laner, or will they go with the support? I guess we'd probably see the support pick here. And it is going to be the Lulu locked in for Otter. Getting an Enchanter into the comp here to go with the Ashe. So it will be the counter pick given over towards the side of Swolpingu. Those of you in chat, I know you'll be happy about that one. We often see calls for the Swolpingu counter picks. And Blitzcrank going to be picked up here for Drywall Boxer. I know that that's something that they've been adding to their repertoire over the last few weeks. Looking back at some of the VODs, we've seen that continuously becoming higher prio for the side of Eastern Michigan. So where will Eastern Michigan go with this top lane pick? Cho'Gath? Yeah, it's going to be the Cho'Gath. So giving a little bit of extra magic damage. That's actually a pretty magic damage heavy team with the Blitzcrank, Syndra, Cho'Gath all on the team. And Varus doing a little bit of mixed damage. But Galio going to be able to sustain pretty well into some of those fights. Aatrox looking like the hover in terms of an answer into Cho'Gath for the side of NIU. And it does look like that is going to be the lock. So both these comps looking for a little bit more of a fight presence, not as much in terms of side laning. Cho'Gath does have some side lane potential, but both these comps going to be a little bit fight heavy, so we'll have to see how this one plays out as we go. All right, since we're not in a draftable lobby, you guys saw the picks just as they were happening. Same thing with myself, and so now we don't have to wait to see them a second time. We're gonna go straight into game here. So we've got 15 seconds here before the players go into game, and then we'll be waiting the additional 3-minute delay, and we'll be live with game number 1 of this best of 3 series. And you won't want to miss it, so do stay tuned for the beginning of game 1 because we've got some special treats ready to go for you here as we go. Once again, a shout out to Ethan Noodle Nguyen for helping us out, and as our production here, really getting some awesome overlays and awesome specialty content that we're going to be using throughout the rest of the season. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead. We have a couple minutes. We are going to go ahead and just send you guys the schedule here. So we'll throw that, or we'll say that at least, I should say. But yeah, Overwatch going to be playing Toledo tomorrow at 7 o'clock here on the channel. Then we're back on Saturday for another League of Legends match. This one will be against, I believe, Akron. Sunday, a special Sunday edition of Overwatch at 7 p.m. as NIU and Ohio will face off in the Esports Collegiate Conference. And then NIU finishes off the regular season in League of Legends on Wednesday, 1 week from today, against Bowling Green, I believe. I believe that's the matchup. Let me double check that. No. Sorry, I had those two flipped. So Saturday is Bowling Green, Wednesday is Akron. So that'll be that for them. And then on Tuesday, Overwatch continues their season with... No, actually, no, that's a makeup week. So, yeah, after Toledo, we've got a few weeks here before we've got another match. So Akron in League of Legends on Wednesday. And then we're not back on this channel until March 18th with Western Michigan and NIU in Overwatch. So quite a long spring break there for us. And so we will hope that this is gonna be, we'll be putting out some content in the meantime to keep you guys occupied. Speaking of content, have you guys seen the short or the reel, depending on which platform you're on, that our good buddy John, Buff Pillsbury Boy, was able to create here? If you haven't, go to our YouTube, go to our Instagram, go to our TikTok, any of those places. It's available now. It is I'm not going to spoil it, but it is some fun content, we'll just say. All right. Here we go. As we get into game, We're going to go ahead and we're going to wait on this because I want to make sure that you guys get the full experience with this one as we move over into the special stuff that we've got going on here today. While we wait for everything to load up, I am going to tell you that we've got double teleports on both teams as expected. It's going to be the barrier on the Varus and ignite for Drywall Boxer on this Blitzcrank. On the side of NIU, it is cleanse for the Ash and heal for Otter on the Lulu. Looking at the runes up and down the board, we're just going to go straight down the board here for the side of Eastern Michigan. It is going to be the Grasp of the Undying for Cho'Gath. It is the Conqueror for Xin. That is First Strike for Seraphine. Seraphine, my apologies. Syndra. Waffle Pig is going to be running the Varus with Lethal Tempo. And then that is Glacial Augment for the Blitzcrank on the side of NIU. It's going to be Conquer on both the Aatrox and Viego of Swilpingu and Beast or in Fury, respectively. Beast Fridge going to be running Aftershock on the Galio. Lethal Tempo here for the Ash of Snark and Summon Airy for Otter's Lulu. Does sound like we did have a client crash. There we go. And here we are into game number 1 of this best of 3 series. And let's take a tour of the Rift. As you guys see, both these teams getting ready to go. And away we go in game number 1. Starting us off here as we do see that both these teams gonna nope, actually NIU gonna for the most part look for a 5 stack, whereas we do see Eastern Michigan looking for the 5 point. So there we go. Let me make sure I am caught up to lives. And there we go. So yeah, a little bit of vision traded back and forth by both these teams, but now we do see a 3 stack on towards the bot tribe rush. Neither of these teams really gonna be grabbing a whole lot more than just vision. And does look like an interesting start here, as Viego has started without the health potion, whereas Xin has started with the health potion. NIU has this warded so they know that the invade is happening. And so it does look like it'll just be both these teams probably looking to vertical jungle. Both, there is vision from Eastern Michigan on towards where Fury has started. Same thing with the Xin here. There is knowledge from NIU that he has started on their red side, sorry, their blue side of the map. And so both these teams just going to look to continue to trade as it is expected in the matchup. Across the board, Swilpingu actually getting level 2 first in the top lane, so might be able to grab a trade here, but instead it is actually it's actually 0, able to grab a little bit more damage out of the trade. And definitely lane prio going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan here, as we do see that this could be an early gank on towards the mid lane, as we do see a potential dive towards bot lane, as Xin positioning for this. We'll see, as it is warded, NIU doing a nice job of just backing off from this. They're going to play some deep vision, is Eastern Michigan, but Swilpingu going to actually take quite a bit of damage. And we'll have to back away from this one. Yeah, both teams electing to just vertical jungle at this point, knowing that the other has really pushed in their, or has warded and spotted out these fights. Snark Gonna have to be careful of a rocket grab here. It is gonna be landing on towards Otter and Lulu, but NIU gonna do a nice job of trading it back on towards Drywall Boxer as he's gonna be taken to about a third HP. So both these supports sitting kind of low. ADC's having a nice fight there. Beast Fridge gonna try for some damage, but needs to be careful as Lance, Romance, and Riyadh are both here. Beast Fridge gonna be knocked up, and that's gonna be first blood going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan here, as they're able to interrupt the dash from the Galio. Nice gank coming through from the side of Eastern Michigan. They're gonna go grab that first blood and not have anything traded back. Does look like Eastern Michigan might play more towards this Drake early on, whereas on NIU, does look like so far there's been maybe a call for the early move towards the Grubs. Drywall Boxer does have the range for the rocket grab here. Otter needs to be careful. He's going to be he's just going to be grabbed as he looks for the ward, and it is going to be the kill going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. This one does go onto the Xin Zhao. Syndra did grab the first kill. If there's one consolation out of it, it is that NIU did not give a kill over towards the Varus. He is up in gold because of that about 13 CS advantage, but luckily did not grab even an assist on that one. So Pingu just kind of farming under turret. Needn't be careful of the potential dive here when level 6 is met, but we'll just continue to farm, keep things relatively even, and yeah, actually it does look like now there's going to be the lane swap. So we had heard talk that Eastern Michigan tends to like this lane swap, moving their bot lane up towards the top side in order to secure the grubs. Obviously, some of the controversial stuff that's been going on, as we know that there's going to be some lane swap changes here in the next week. Not able to land the stun is Fury, and now Otter also going to be walking away. Will they be able to get out of the range of the rocket grab? There's going to be the slow from Otter, but will it be enough? Yes, it is. Nice taunt. Able to land the damage. Now, NIU might have a fight here. It is a 4v4. NIU going to go in on Drywall Boxer for this one, but that's going to be the feat of warfare already. NIU does trade this back on towards Lance Romance. Nicely done to get one back, and there's going to be a double kill on towards, or actually a second kill for the Huskies. That one going the way of Fury. First kill did go towards Swolpingu. So NIU do a nice job of answering, plus they got the advantage here, and so with that, taking the fight advantage, rotating up Snark, and rotating everybody over, does mean that NIU going to be able to grab these early grubs. Well, it will be contested, and I don't think this one's quite over yet in terms of the fight. There is still one grub available, so NIU gonna look to maybe step forward. Nice flash over the EQ combo from Syndra, though NIU does need to be careful here. I think they're gonna have to give up that final grub. Now, that is the rocket grab on towards Beast Fridge. There is gonna be the damage, and Waffle Pig will grab the kill on towards NIU's mid laner. As overall, the fight goes slightly in favor of Eastern Michigan, though NIU able to grab the 2 Void Grubs, so they do get the objective advantage out of this one. Now we'll see if they return to the lanes that they originally were put in, as NIU kind of leaves their bot lane up top, and this is a little bit of an odd swap back from the side of Eastern Michigan. They now have the ADC sitting in mid lane, and the support roaming down towards bot. So it does look like, yeah, it is just a delay to make sure that everybody got some gold out of this lane swap, but it is going to be returning to traditional lanes as we go. Dragon is available. It is the Mountain Drake to start us off, And so neither of these teams has started that objective up yet. Does look like that's going to be the next priority from both these teams, as you might expect. And overall, does look like NIU going to move towards the bot side of the map. Both these bot laners also going to move towards that side as well, so that there can be that priority. And NIU will have the first move towards the Drake, so we'll see if they start that up, especially given that Otter on the Lulu here is going to be helping Fury out with this blue buff. That's going to be some vision placed. Rocket Grab, not... Oh, that was actually Lulu. Now Rocket Grab going to be used, but Drywall Boxer does use the W there to speed up. And so using the overdrive, he is able to walk away from that one. And now, we talked about it being a fight-heavy game and comp from both these teams. Looks like we're going to see yet another fight, as both these teams really want to fight over this dragon rather than just allowing the other team to have it. And Lance Romance going to ping away towards Fury, knowing that he's there. We do see up in the top lane, this is going to be a fight, as Zero going to step away from the sweet spots, and we'll see as Fury not going to be able to dash away from the rocket grab. That's going to be the kill going through towards Eastern Michigan, and we'll see if NIU does trade this one back. The cleanse goes through, but it is going to be another kill over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. Wolfpig going to grab that second kill. He's 2-0, and that is a 3-1-2 Syndra, which is always the concern when you're playing Eastern Michigan, is that they typically will play towards the mid lane here for Lancer Romance. And incidentally, we're probably going to see this Dragon Dance all over again, because neither one of the teams took it. We had the fight, but neither team takes the objective. And so once again, oh, that's a nice W. The volley does land on towards Drywall Boxer. It means that NIU is able to take a little bit of a trade here towards the bot lane. Though they do want to be careful here, because they don't have vision of the fact that Xin Zhao is here. He will complete the recall, it looks like. Yep, there it is. And so it does look like both teams will just elect to slow this one down and reset off of that. There is vision up towards the top side, so Fury knows that he's been spotted. Though it does give the time to allow the Aatrox to recall and set up down bot side for the potential grub take here. As it does look like Eastern Michigan will get that full rotation, and NIU will just elect to kind of back off of this one, though. There's going to be the stun on towards Drywall Boxer. Ultimate going to be used as well. Flash going to be forced from Fury here, and it does look like Beast Fridge is just going to be the sacrificial lamb, as NIU will get everybody else out of this one, but the grub's going to go over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. NIU does ping towards this dragon. Looks like they might look to trade that one and get an objective for objective trade here. And Eastern Michigan's going to secure themselves 4 grubs. Obviously not nearly as impactful as 5 or 6 for that matter, but does have Eastern Michigan starting that one up. And now NIU will trade that with a dragon of their own here. So Mountain Drake for the 3 grubs. Although it does look like this might be Eastern Michigan looking to grab feats and grabbing the top lane tier 1 turret. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does land on towards Drywall Boxer, but not enough follow-up there. So first turret goes over towards the side of Eastern Michigan, and feats goes over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. And generally, 7-2 kill score, about 5,000 gold, the lead in favor of Eastern. Not insurmountable, but a healthy lead for the side of Eastern in this one, and we'll have to see how NIU looks to answer this. It does look like now it's kind of a full rotation again from the Huskies. They'll move Galio up towards the top side to answer the side lane. They will move Aatrox back, and actually now everybody's just kind of returning to lanes. So does look like NIU going to match the rotation and just return the solo lanes to their respective positions, and the duo lane to the bot lane, just the same as Eastern Michigan does. Infernal Drake will spawn in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. We're getting very close to Rift Herald spawning. I'd imagine that's going to be the next fight that we see these teams take. And now we do see as well, it is going to be a little bit of a flip in that Aatrox will move towards the mid lane instead, and Lance Romance will be the one to answer here. NIU needs to be careful, as this is a potential fight, although now NIU might be able to turn around and collapse on the side of Eastern Michigan. With Aatrox not able to join, though, it does mean that NIU just needs to protect their turret. Enchanted Crusader does not land, so it is going to be the turret taken very low. The stun goes through. NIU might be able to grab some damage back, as they do grab that on towards Fury. That's going to be the rocket grab as well. Drywall Boxer going to be the one grabbing the kill in the bot lane there, and it will be 8-2 in favor of Eastern Michigan here. And we'll see if they want to continue to take more out of this one. Flash forward. Yeah, that was a little bit of an aggressive stay here from the side of NIU, although they might be able to turn things around here, as that's going to be the shutdown going on towards Xin Zhao from Swolpingu. And now it's a matter of, will NIU be able to follow this up? No. With the EQ combo used from the Syndra, it will mean just the disengage. Eastern Michigan will find themselves the turrets, they'll find themselves the kills, and they will find themselves with a healthy 6,000 gold lead in this game at 15 minutes. 16 minutes going to be when we see the Rift Herald spawning. And like I said, I think that's probably when we'll see the next major fight over an objective here, as NIU will look to take that one, you would imagine. We do see that Otacon is going to spawn in the bot side of the map. I believe that is potentially a voracious Otacon once again. So you would imagine that whoever takes this Rift Herald would likely hold on to it for the potential Otacon and Rift Herald combo, seeing quite a bit of that in later weeks. And looks like NIU. Ooh, actually, Eastern Michigan going to ping on towards Swolpingu, looking for a potential pick here. NIU doing a nice job of stepping away from the rocket grab, but needing to continue to be careful. Zero going to have the push answered by the side of NIU. And it does look like maybe we'll see NIU look for the dragon take instead. So, yeah, we do see that that the jungler here for the side of Eastern Michigan does start up the Enchanted Crusader not able to land, but Riot not going to be able to, or is going to start up the Herald, able to grab it at this point. NIU won't contest, but NIU does look like they'll move towards the dragon, potentially put themselves on a 2-dragon stack. They do need to be aware that Cho'Gath is here for this one. And so they'll start it up. There is going to be vision. Cho'Gath going to be there first to contest, but NIU does have everybody here to answer, as it does look like NIU just going to be able to burn this down before Eastern Michigan gets there. Indeed they are. So NIU will find themselves with an Infernal and Mountain Drake. And they do have a win con here, as, you know, if they're able to grab this soul, which is not Infernal, it is Hextech. For some reason it was showing Infernal for me. But yeah, Hextech Soul going to be the one for this game. If NIU is able to grab that, it does help with, you know, with continuing to fight back in this contest. We'll see if they do just look to clear waves. Yeah, this is just going to be Eastern Michigan looking to set up in the NIU jungle, and potentially look for a fight, as Swolpingu going to be flashing away from the rocket grab. Nice reaction on that one. Now NIU might be able to answer this. They roam Otter up as well as Snark, and actually they just decide that no, they're gonna back away, leave this turret, and they want to protect their base, as Cho'Gath gonna be split pushing, and NIU kind of split decision on this one, as now they look to engage. That's gonna be Wolfpig gonna have to flash away. That is gonna be Polymorph, and the kill goes over towards the side of NIU on the Aatrox. Now there's going to be the stun. NIU could grab a second out of this one, as that's going to be the dash forward. Xin Zhao will find himself falling in this engage. NIU doing a nice job. Fury grabbing the kill on that one. And NIU finds where Eastern overstays a little bit and is able to punish on that one in the 4v4. Snark and Otter needing to be careful, as the Vorpal Spike's not going to be able to land. Now he's stun going through on towards Lance Romance, but will it be enough, as Fury will trade his life? Will NIU be able to turn this one around? Syndra not going to fall, as Galio not able to follow up with enough damage, running out of mana. Now Zero could find the damage on towards Otter. It is going to be the damage there. Will NIU be able to keep their support alive? No, they elect to just back away, and the teleport back in from Zero, actually he just walked right back in, and that does mean that the fight was a little bit of an overstay for NIU, and now they're going to lose their mid lane turret for that overcommitment. Teleport did come in from Syndra. She's going to go ahead and finish the bot tier 2 turret. They'll lose their inhibitor turret in the mid lane as well, with this Rift Herald spawning. They might actually now lose their top lane inhibitor turret as well, as there is going to be the crash. The ultimate does land, the Enchanted Crest Arrow, and it will be Drywall Boxer, my apologies, falling in that one. Now the Rocket Grab going to land on towards Zero. NIU not going to have the damage to be able to follow that up, and so it will be just the 1-for-0 in that fight for NIU. And Syndra, obviously pretty scary at this point. 5, 1, and 6, sitting on a couple of items, looking to finish up the Rabadon's death cap very shortly here. But NIU gonna look to position towards this Otacon. Again, we've talked about this in previous matches. Whoever is able to grab the Otacon, especially Voracious, at a huge advantage, but obviously it's not worth throwing the game over, so you can very easily waste its passive by utilizing it and then immediately dying if you take the fight. So it does look like NIU just backs away from this one. Eastern Michigan might start it up, but does just continue to back away. And Fury gonna have to be careful. He might, just stepping away from the rocket grab. Nicely done. Now Fury gonna go ahead and just try to grab something out of his jungle, but it will be continuously starving the jungler. Now, actually, looking at the levels, Fury not down in levels. Really, the difference here in XP is that Swolpingu is down a level, and so is Otter in this one, and Beast Fridge about a level 2. But generally, NIU been keeping this pretty even. NIU does, I believe, have vision, or did have vision, that that they have started this. There it is. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to land on towards the Cho'Gath, but NIU not going to be able to find their way into this fight. And there's going to be the Otacon taken by Eastern Michigan. NIU will likely just elect to give away this dragon, all things considered. And yeah, they'll go ahead and just trade this for a potential mid lane tier 1 take. They have the wave. They're going to start this up and try to burn down this turret. They'll be able to get it quite low in terms of health. And yeah, there is going to be a turret traded for it. So now you will grab something out of this fight at least, and they'll walk away not empty handed, but, definitely falling behind a little bit more out of that fight. Gold about 8,000 separation at this point in favor of Eastern Michigan. Dragons 1 to 2, as you see, in favor of NIU. NIU probably will just wait out this Otacon. Timer means that Baron should spawn about the time that the Otacon buff expires. So again, that'll probably be the next major objective that we fight over. Uh, Looking at it here, let's try to grab a timer on the Otacon buff. It is looking at the false life. Yeah, it's about half of its duration already, so it's got about 60 seconds left on it. Dragon spawns in 43, so or Baron, I should say. So they will have it available for the Baron take, but it will expire probably as they are damaging Baron. So instead, uh, we do see that the side of Eastern Michigan is going to just look for that one. Flashes away. NIU doing a nice job of protecting from the rocket grab, but having to utilize that long cooldown for this one. Now they will lose their mid lane inhibitor. That likely means, yeah, we'll see instead. Kent State does roam up towards, or Kent State, my apologies. Eastern Michigan does roam up towards the top lane, looking to grab that objective as well, the turret, and then potentially the inhibitor as well. Beast Fridge, gonna be careful. There's a rocket grab on towards Beast Fridge, but NIU gonna turn this one. We'll see if they're able to do any damage in the backside. There's gonna be a lot taken low. Otter gonna be taking low. Beast Fridge as well. There's gonna be the kill on towards Otter. NIU gonna be able to turn one around, as that is Wolf Pig grabbing Fury, but NIU will be able to get the withdraw on towards the Blitzcrank here. Eastern Michigan continues to push forward. Now Lance Romance taken very low, but it is going to be traded on from Zero on towards the top laner of NIU. Snark will also fall in the engage. Zero going to be taken extremely low, but NIU will lose one of their Nexus turrets in this one, and the inhibitor on the top side. So it does mean that in the end, Eastern Michigan was able to force the fight and will be able to set up for this potential Baron on their own, as NIU will just have to clear minions from their base. We'll see if NIU elects to contest this one. They do have some wave clear, so they could potentially do so, especially we've seen Fury get a steal on some of these in the past. Would be a little tougher considering that Eastern does have the vision all throughout the jungle, and indeed it is just going to be Eastern Michigan grabbing this one. NIU will not elect to contest, and so the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does land on towards Syndra, but doesn't really do a whole lot. Just kind of seeing if there might have been a steal with that one. And now NIU going to have to answer this push. Unfortunately, only able to take one turret so far, but the positive for NIU is that down 12,000 gold, if they're able to grab a fight and potentially grab any of these turrets for themselves, that will be an immediate influx of gold. We'll have to see, as Enchanted Crystal Arrow not quite ready to go yet, about halfway through its cooldown. Now you're going to try to just clear these waves behind Snark's Ash. Boxer taken to about half HP, so NIU does have some chunk damage here. There's going to be the Enchanted Crystal, or sorry, the Chains of Corruption landing on towards NIU. Fury not going to have enough damage. We'll be able to trade back one, but it will be a second and a third and a fourth dying for NIU. Double kill over towards the side of the Lance Romance, and Wolfpig grabbing a double kill of his own. That's going to be the ace and the game going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. And NIU will go back to the drawing board and figure out what they want to do for game number 2, as this one, Eastern Michigan had a nice stranglehold on the macro, but NIU did have some things that were going right for them. So it's really figuring out how they can utilize those even better. Let's take a look at the stats as you guys see them on your screen. Damage, ADCs doing quite a bit of damage as you might expect. Uh, Cho'Gath actually out damaging the Aatrox about 4,000 damage to the good. Mid lane's pretty much even, and then looking at that ADC, about 6,000 more damage, and a lot of that just has to do with those team fights. So unfortunate for NIU, they do fall in game number 1. We'll see what they're able to do with game number 2, and we'll have to see what happens with game 2. But we're gonna go ahead and throw you guys to a quick break, about 3 minutes here. Then we'll be back for the rest of this best of 5 or best of 3. I apologize, not a best of 5. Don't want to get your hopes up for that. That's not till playoffs, but yeah, NIU needing to pull the reverse sweep. It's not something they haven't done yet, but they'll have to do it tonight if they want a chance at that 4th seed. All right, now we're going to send you guys to break. We'll be back in just about 3 minutes. welcome back, everybody, as we are getting into game 2 for NIU in Eastern Michigan. And NIU falls in game number 1. They're going to need a reverse sweep in order to win this one and keep themselves alive for the 4th or 5th seed in the conference here, going into playoffs in a couple weeks. We'll have to see how this goes. One change we know they're making already is that NIU going to take the blue side for game number 2. They want that prio pick. No changes to either of these rosters. No subs coming in, so they're going to run it back with the rosters as they exist. But it is going to be the blue side for NIU, the red side for Eastern Michigan. Alrighty. And it looks like both teams' productions are ready. Teams are ready. Excuse me. And we should be into game, or at least into Champ Select, very, very shortly here. As we're just waiting on teams to start it up. And there it is. We are in the draft for game number 2. So let's see what adjustments are made here. We saw in game 1 that there was a heavy emphasis towards the top lane bans. This time, Aurora going to be banned away by the side of NIU. So far, these bans look eerily similar to what we had last game. Garen going to be the first ban by the side of Kent State. Answering with this one, it's going to be the Syndra banned away by NIU. So that is going to be a change in the bans. They don't want to see that from the side of Eastern Michigan once again. Corky going to be kept as a ban, and Heimerdinger also going to be taken off the board. So there will be a different mid laner for the side of Eastern Michigan here. What is NIU in the kitchen cooking up here? We know they switched to blue side because they want that first pick, that first rotation. Camille also going to be taken off the board. So Swolpingu, again, going to have his pool a little bit pinched. What is NIU willing to blind pick here in game 2? I'm just as curious as you guys are. So let's go ahead and see. They're not giving us any hints. They're waiting until the end of the timer to take this one, and it's Viego. So looking like they want that Viego rotation, but I'm not quite sure the blue side thought process for that, unless maybe it has to do with actual like gameplay positioning. We'll have to get clarification on that at some point. But Zin's out once again going to be answered. So despite the side changes, no real changes in the picks so far. Both these junglers going to be on the same things that they were in game number 1. ADC for the side of Eastern Michigan going to be on Varus again. So no changes there for Waffle Pig. Will NIU change things up? Ezreal would be the answer here. That would be different from game number 1. Would be more empowering for Snark. And it is going to be the Ezreal in towards this Varus. So obviously a little bit of a different style of ADC than the Ashe. Both poke heavy, but a little bit more agency on the Ezreal to dash away, reposition in these fights. Leona would definitely help with that engage. And so rather than going back to an enchanter like the Lulu, it is going to be another one of the L supports. It's going to be the Leona. And this is going to be Braum hovered. We know that's typically an answer that Eastern Michigan has into this Leona, and that is the direction they're going to go. So I see what NIU was looking for here. So this wasn't necessarily about first pick. This was about getting a counter pick in one of the two solo lanes, whether that's the jungle or the not having to blind mid here or not having to blind the top lane. One of them they are going to have to blind, the other they can make the sacrifice on. So we'll see what they decide to do. Again, Dr. Mundo also going to be banned. This is going to be another ban towards the top lane, and Cho'Gath going to be taken out there. So again, both these top laners going to dig deep into their pockets and find these picks. This is one of those games where, with so many of the bans being the same, selfishly, I'm like, man, if only we could have Fearless in Collegiate for that reason. It would be great to be able to answer it that way. Pantheon going to be banned away by the side of Eastern Michigan, and NIU will take away the LeBlanc as well. So what direction does Eastern Michigan go with this one? It's the Maokai for top lane. And I was wondering if this might be the matchup. Garen already off the board, so what does NIU decide to answer into the Maokai? And again, leaving Lance Romance with the counter pick, last pick here for the side of Eastern Michigan. NIU comfortable with doing so. We'll see where they go with this one. It's going to be the Ahri for NIU. Locking that one in. They'll have their mid laner. We'll see what Lance wants to do into the Ahri. And what will NIU use as the counter to this Maokai? It's going to be the Darius that gets left up. We've seen Swolpingu have some pretty nice games on it. And it is going to be indeed locked in. So what will be the side of Eastern Michigan's answer into this Ahri? Will it be the Silas? Will it be the Cassiopeia? Both have been things they've used in the past to answer the Ahri. And it looks like it's going to be the Cassiopeia. And indeed it is. So obviously a little bit of a different look here from the side of Eastern Michigan. Still, actually, Eastern Michigan not very different. Still very team fight oriented. NIU has some more skirmish champions. So you have to imagine they're going to be a little more focused on these skirmishes and the laning. Should enable them to get Fury into these objectives. And so we'll have to see how game number 2 ends up playing out. We'll get you guys the runes and the summoner spells as soon as we get into game. But thank you guys so much for joining us as always. We are looking at about 3 minutes until we're into game. And that's just enough time to thank Turtle Beach, the official gaming peripheral sponsor of NIU Esports. As you guys can see, did see. Let me double check. Yeah, you're still seeing all the players there in the esports arena utilizing Turtle Beach peripherals here in the Esports Collegiate Conference and at NIU. We see there's also a Valorant match going on at the same time, or at least Valorant practice. So Tyler, Grim Reaper, to be sitting there at the bottom of the screen running his practice. And yeah, we'll see where this one goes as we're waiting just a little bit here for these picks. And I'm looking back. I can see what you guys are seeing at my real time, but what you're 3 minutes behind for me. So I'm looking at it, and I can definitely see that there was some interest and some big reactions to some of that draft. So we'll see how NIU answers here. Welcome, Utopian Soldiers, for the follow. Thank you. Roman Empire. We got Gorkzo and Chungus Fart 2. What a great name. As welcome into the chat, PCH. Let's go NIU. I believe as well. And so I'm excited to see how this one plays out. And just about a minute left. So, like we said, NIU's final League of Legends matches for the season. It's going to be Bowling Green on Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time, and then Akron at 7 p.m. a week from today to finish off the regular season. Then it'll be a matter of figuring out where the seeding will take NIU as we go. Playoffs are going to be the weekend of April 4th, 5th, and 6th, so keep that in mind. We're still figuring out the logistics of where that stream will be. We will provide you more details as we go. However, Overwatch has a match tomorrow, Thursday at 7 p.m. They have one at Sunday at 7 p.m. And then they will be on a 2 or 3 week hiatus, and they'll come back March 18th. So you guys see a break from the channel. Don't worry, it is not you're not missing anything. We just do have quite the break here. All right. Looking at these runes and summoner spells. Forceful Pingu. It's going to be Conquer, Fairy Conquer. Electrocute for Beast Fridge on this Ari. It is Conquer for the Ezreal and Aftershock for the Leona. On the side of NIU, looking at Eastern Michigan, looking at Zero utilizing the Aftershock on this Maokai. Conquer for both Riat and Lance Romance on their respective champions. Lethal Tempo once again for Waffle Pig, and this one's Guardian for Drywall Boxer. Summoner spell-wise, exactly what you'd expect. This goes for Darius. Teleport for Beast Fridge on this Ari. That is an Exhaust for Otter on this Leona. That's interesting. Barrier for Snark. Whereas on the side of Eastern Michigan, traditional double teleport as well as Cleanse for Wolf Pig and Heal for Drywall Boxer. All right, we're into game. Looking at it, does look like, yep, there you guys see the runes. Looking at the map, does look like both teams more or less electing for a 5-point here. And so that'll keep us relatively even as we go. Now it does look like Drywall Boxer might look to place some early deep vision. Does look like both these teams will just back off from that one. But Eastern Michigan knowing where Fury wants to start this game. And now this is going to be a late invade from the side of Eastern Michigan, and nothing Fury can do about this one as the stun goes through from the Braum of Drywall Boxer, and it will be first blood going over towards Eastern Michigan. They get themselves the early advantage, as well as the incredibly early kill onto the ADC. We also see that Fury going to be set quite behind and is clear. And everything coming up aces so far for Eastern Michigan. Though, obviously, very early on into game 2. All right. This also, unfortunately for NIU, probably means they have to be careful of a potential dive from the side of Eastern Michigan, especially with Xin Zhao already posturing towards that bot side of the map. Leona not able to land the Zenith Blade. Probably for the best, considering Drywall Boxer probably could have stunned her back and would have been the kill there. Now, NIU does have vision that Riat is here. Nice Zenith Blade. Does mean that we do see Otter having to burn Flash, but no kills going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan here. NIU doing a nice job of just surviving through this early pressure that Xin Zhao has been able to exert. Now, early on, looks like Eastern might look for a potential roam here. Braum already moving up towards the top side. Varus going to have to move towards the bot side by himself. Braum will be spotted on the... No, I think he was just outside of vision. Fury, gonna be careful. And does not get spotted. Now Braum will be spotted. And so, looks like Eastern wants to fight this mid lane. They don't quite have knowledge of the position of Fury. But looks like Drywall Boxer going to be stepping forward just to get Lance Romance the advantage here. And Leona also going to move towards the mid lane. So, overall, about a 500 gold lead from that first blood, but everything else very even in this match. So, first dragon going to be spawning here in just a slight bit, in about 1 minute. And that one is going to be the Ocean Drake. So we won't see the Ocean Soul. But I think generally both teams would like the Ocean Soul. So unfortunate that neither is getting it this game. But yeah, it is just going to be the continued pressure from both these teams. Just trying to farm up their jungles respectively. And does look like, yeah, there's going to be some vision placed. Xin will be spotted on that ward. They know that he's placed a control ward here, but the side of Eastern does have first rotation, so they need to be careful, does NIU, as Eastern definitely trying to steal away jungle camps here. Indeed, they do. They are able to get that. Now, Swapingu going to start this up. He does get the 5 stacks, pulls back 0. We'll see if he's able to get this one. No ult available, and the bleed should at least force 0 out of lane. It won't get the kill, but it will get NIU's top laner the advantage in this one. And now Fury going to be spotted on these Raptors. Not going to be able to fight back is NIU, so Fury will just continue to put pressure on towards the top side of the map, and likewise, the bot side of the map, once again, is going to see Riat down there again. So, 0. Gonna go in on this one. Swapingu has ulti available, but not able to utilize it in time. Flash gonna be burned from 0, but this is Fury. Gonna be able to grab the kill himself. Nicely done, just answering that one. And it will be the side of Eastern Michigan able to grab the dragon here. They'll grab the early Ocean Drake, but NIU should be able to move on towards these grubs and grab all 3 for themselves as well. So, does not look like Eastern is going to contest this. There is vision, so if Beastfridge moves up to try to help with that, yeah, NIU knows there's the vision there, so they won't have Beastfridge answer. Fury doing a nice job of grabbing these grubs himself, able to grab 2 already, and no contest, so it will be all 3 going over towards the Huskies. They'll keep this game very even, each team taking 1 objective on the map and having 1 kill. Once again, it looks like we're still going to be locked into this vertical jungling as, again, there are pings towards the NIU red buff from the side of Eastern, so they'll want to go for that one. Now there's the pings towards NIU's bot lane, and Flash goes forward and going to be answered by Lance Romance. Otter needs to be careful, does have his flash already burned, and NIU is probably going to lose their support in this one. A little bit of an aggressive play, not able to find anything, and it will be the kill going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. NIU, we see 0, going to be able to just back the Darius away on this one. But again, this is going to be the beauty of having a Darius in the top lane. While we do see that that 0 can really disengage in some of these fights, again, Swapingu, when he's able to get a locked-in fight, should have kill pressure on the Maokai most, if not all, fights. Turret plate going to be dropped in favor of the Varus. He's going to grab some gold for himself here. Is sitting on a kill advantage. NIU needs to be careful because once again, Xin Zhao is down towards the bot lane. Again, vertical jungling. He's just going to continuously be down towards the bot side. and the worry of a potential dive, especially given that Waffle Pig has the Chains of Corruption available. Braum does not have his ultimate, so this will not be a dive attempt here from Xin Zhao. And Beast Ridge going to be pressured, but again, both these laners just continuing to trade back and forth, and that's kind of across the board. We're seeing that in all of the lanes. 2-1, still the kills in favor of Eastern Michigan. Swapingu actually up about 17 CS. Wow. Doing a really nice job of just getting the advantage up towards the top side. And that is exactly what you would like if you're the Huskies. Obviously, mid lane going a little bit in favor of Cassiopeia. That's about 16 CS. Beast Fridge going to land the charm. Is it going to be the trade? Yeah, that is the electrocute. So Lance Romance going to be taken to about a quarter HP. He does have backup, though, as we do see that Braum and Xin Zhao are both roaming towards that side of the map. Swapingu just starting to grab a freeze here towards the top side. Now this CS lead has ballooned up to about 22 up in the top lane. And this is going to be the problem that Maokai faces. Darius can just continuously have kill pressure, and so as soon as Zero steps up to try to break this freeze, it's going to be giving Swapingu the opportunity to potentially all in for a fight. And again, just continuously zoning the Maokai away from the wave, continuously building this CS advantage is the Darius. Giving props over to Swapingu. Really nicely played so far in this lane matchup. And you know that Zero wants to back, but he knows that the freeze is just going to be continuously pushed in if he does so. Otter is here. Lance Romance not going to step too far forward. Aware of the threat of a Zenith Blade. 3 members of Eastern Michigan going to show up in the top side. NIU going to be able to answer with everybody, so we will see a fight over these grubs once again. And we'll see which side really wants to start off this fight. Snark, Otter, and Beast Fridge might be a little bit out of position. That's going to be the ultimate used here by the Maokai. It will be the kill going over towards, and the Feat of Warfare going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. Now, NIU might be able to re-engage on this one, as they're going to go ahead and dash forward. But just grabbing the charm, needing to flash away is Beast Fridge. But this is going to be the stun on towards the from the Viego. Oh, that was just counter synergy as the pull was used by Swapingu just as the ultimate was going to land from the Viego, and everything falls apart at that point, as that is going to be the ace going over towards Eastern Michigan. 7-1 the kills, and a 3,500 gold lead now over towards the side of the team in red in this game. And unfortunate for NIU, as like I said, I think had that ultimate from Viego landed, that likely could have been the fight turner, but NIU unfortunately just not able to properly play around those two timings. Zero might be in a tough spot. Zenith Blade going to land here on towards him. The dash goes forward, but will it be enough? Zero just, he's very tanky. He'll have to, they'll try to whittle him down, but damage just isn't there quite yet from NIU's bot lane, and so Zero will comfortably walk away. Darius going to try for first turret. See how Eastern Michigan looks to answer this one. NIU is setting up for a potential dragon take to answer that one. Nicely done by Beast Fridge, able to walk away. And now, actually, it's Xin Zhao that's going to be the one starting up the dragon. Looks like... Oh, no, not starting up the dragon. My apologies. He is just going to grab the Scuttle Crab for the vision. And NIU going to roam down Darius here, especially with Cassiopeia answering. And we'll see if NIU looks to force a 5v5 fight. Or a 5v4 in this case. Cassiopeia doesn't have the does not have teleport, but nicely done by Eastern Michigan, just able to step away and sidestep from the potential fight there. And so NIU won't find the engage they're looking for. Zenith Blade doesn't land, and NIU will just elect to move towards this dragon and potentially start it up. Now, this is the side of Eastern Michigan knows that NIU is trying to fish for this in the mid lane. The top lane, we're just seeing Cassiopeia push in the wave. And again, both these teams backed off of the dragon, and we'll continue to see this fight going through over the dragon at this point. Fury going to go ahead and take the red buff. Both teams kind of resetting for at least the short term for this fight. And we'll see where they want to answer this, as Otter is going to help out Beast Fridge in the mid lane. Neither team fully committing to Dragon, and now it does look like Eastern Michigan just going to be the ones to win out the pressure battle in the end. It is on Vision, though. NIU, though, will just move Fury away from this one. They decide they aren't going to be able to fight over the feats, and so that'll be the feats going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. 7-1, about a 3,000 gold lead. And NIU will just continue to try to push in, or try to just farm up. Obviously, quite a few shutdowns available to the side of the Huskies. Varus sitting at 2 items, 1.5 items, as well as his full boots. Cassiopeia, though, sitting at 2 full items. And yeah, NIU just going to have to try to answer through some of these pretty fed members of the Eastern Michigan attack. And obviously, a lot of that comes down to that one fight that 2-1 game. And so certainly NIU could find a if they're able to find a fight that goes in their favor pretty heavily, this can very easily turn, considering it's only a 4,000 gold lead and 6 kills the difference. So they have a composition that will look to try to pick off individuals from the side of Eastern Michigan. Swolpingu might need to be careful, as this looks like it might be a dive potential towards Swolpingu. There is 3 moving up towards him, and able to just force the turret to fight on him. Now, teleport going to be used. Nice flash. He'll still fall in the engage, but that's going to be forcing the flash from Drywall Boxer as well. We'll see if NIU is able to just turn this around, as Beast Fridge is following this, but I don't believe NIU is going to be able to grab anything off of it. They might look for the Rift Herald. No, instead they just back away. So unfortunately, not going to get there in time to be able to turn this around. It will just be the kill going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan, and they will continue to get pressure across the map for that one, as NIU committed so many resources to trying to answer that dive that they were unable to follow that up with a fight afterwards. Fury will have vision of the fact that Zero is walking there, but we'll just walk away, both teams here. And now about a 4.5, 5,000 gold lead favor of Eastern Michigan, as they will look to take this mid lane Tier 1 turret as well. They'll keep kind of dancing between, and this is exactly what you're worried about if you're NIU, is the dance between, oh, now they might look for a dive up towards the top side again. Luckily, there's the vision, so NIU does this time end up moving back. They probably will end up losing their turret in this one, but Otter might be the engage. Yeah, there it is. Going to be on towards Otter. The damage will be over the top. Leona going to be taking some damage, but now Darius is here. NIU's going to be able to grab one. They will get traded back from the side of Eastern Michigan. Now the cleanse goes through. Wolfpig going to have to flash and cleanse. NIU will back away. Fury taken very low. Snark going to be dashed on, and that is going to be NIU's ADC needing to flash away. He probably won't be able to get out of that one, and indeed it is going to be Riat going to be finding the kill on towards Snark here. NIU will get 1 back, but they will lose 2 in the fight. And once again, advantage Eastern Michigan off of another team fight. Ezreal does have the does have the Trinity Force now. Same with Viego. And so it does look like the side of NIU could potentially be able to fight through these as we get later on into the game. Rift Herald will go over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. But again, NIU just needing to find their picks, and unfortunately, right now, that's not happening, as Wolfpig doing a nice job of cleansing out of that one. But yeah, obviously, the main damage right now has been this, excuse me, this Cassiopeia, and so we'll see how NIU is able to answer into this one. They look for maybe some damage on towards the Braum. Not going to be able to find enough. As Dragon does spawn in 5 seconds, so NIU going to try to find the engage here on towards it. That's going to be Braum just dying very quickly. Nicely done by NIU, now able to find a stun on towards the Varus. They're able to grab the kill there. That goes over towards Beast Fridge. Both those kills, I believe, actually went over to Beast Fridge, and it will be NIU able to find themselves a Drake here, as they do find themselves 2 kills for nothing and the objective. And just like that, gold is back down to about a 5,000 gold lead after it had gotten up to about 6,000. NIU doing a nice job finding a fight that was in favor of their composition and executing on it very well. Otacon spawning in just a second. It is going to be Voracious Otacon. It's available now. Not at stores near you. But, yeah, NIU going to try to push in this mid-tier 1 once again. They're going to send Ari down bot to maybe answer the bot lane tier 1. That is going to be Rift Herald placed as well. NIU won't even get the tier 1 in the mid lane, but they need to clear this Rift Herald out of the bot lane before it gets a second charge off. They are going to move on towards that to see if they can get it. And actually, Xin Zhao going to just use it to get out of the lane, and we'll steer it all the way in towards the pit. And actually, it's going to move now back towards the same lane it just came out of. So NIU will just try to kill that off. Realistically, this probably just clears enough space for the Otacon Vision to be placed for Eastern Michigan. I mean, observers, can we show the vision difference right now in terms of up at the top side of the map? Just kind of what NIU sees on this Otacon versus, yeah, you can see right there. That's what Otacon is being seen for NIU. And then for the side of Eastern Michigan, I mean, they've just got vision all the way through NIU's jungle. But NIU will go ahead, and they're just going to set up for it. We'll see. Now they do start to clear some of this vision out, so doing a nice job of that. Fury with the sweeper. Lance Romance. Swapingu needs to be careful, as that is going to be the Cassiopeia, and the Ghost is going to be popped, so it doesn't mean that Lance can't get the damage, but this likely will mean that with NIU moving their top laner away from the fight here, actually, they're going to look for an engage, as they do grab that on towards Braum. Chains of Corruption do land. Otter is going to be taken low. The Maokai ultimate, the Nature's Grasp, does land on towards multiple. Now it's going to be 3 going down on NIU's side, and a double kill over to the Xin Zhao. So Pingu and Beast Fridge going to have to hold on to this one, and it will just be the lane pushing for the side of Eastern Michigan. Charm lands, the Drywall Box are going to be able to dash away, and NIU really doesn't have, at this point, the ability to contest these turrets falling. Ezreal should be back in just about 4 seconds, so NIU won't lose any of their tier 3 turrets, but now everything outside of that, all tier 2s, all tier 1s, have fallen in favor of Eastern Michigan. It's about a 9,000 gold lead in favor of Eastern as well. They'll start up this Otacon. Again, Vision just 100% in favor of Eastern on this one, and now you cannot walk up without stepping into Vision. And so it will just be Otacon going over towards the side of Eastern with no contest. True Shot Barrage does land on towards Braum, just delays his recall. And are you going to try to push out some of these lanes? Fortunately, not able to see the control ward there. Now they get vision of the fact that it's there. But they're going to just back away. Try to grab a second tier 2, or tier 1, I should say, of their own. And now, Fury going to be spotted out. The Charm does not land. Nicely done by using the dash, whatever it would be, the tunnel forward to prevent the Charm from landing. Now again, it's going to be Eastern just continuing to try to bleed out the top side of the map. Obviously, with Cassiopeia pushing in towards that, Eastern's going to try to set up towards this Baron. NIU could potentially look to even out the Dragons, but Eastern might be just saying, you know what, we will take that trade. Now, this is a dash forward on towards Maokai. Damage goes through. Braum would be here, but so is Varus, and so NIU has to back away. Swapingu, now he's locked in and will be slowed. He'll be stunned and he'll be killed. And that will be the damage going through over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. And NIU will go ahead and start up this Dragon with Fury, but they're going to lose their top tier 3 turret, which is their inhibitor turret for the exchange. And likely Eastern Michigan's just going to go ahead and grab these two tier 2 or tier 3 turrets, and then we'll go ahead and walk on up towards Barons. So, and are you going to have to be careful about this one? Fury does grab the Dragon now. Nature's Grass going to be used again. The dash to prevent the stun. That's going to go over towards Leona grabbing it. Now damage, and NIU doing a nice job. They'll be able to get the withdraw on one, as Otter is going to fall to the poison. But it is 2 deaths here on the side of NIU. Fury trying to channel this one, but not going to be able to get the damage on the backside of this fight. And once again, Eastern Michigan just doing a nice job of timing these fights so that it happens right at the expiration of the false life buff from the Otacon. It's not available now, but again, they'll just have all 5 members for this Baron take, and NIU doesn't have anything to contest this. True Shot Barrage is down. Nobody's able to move up towards this to steal it, so it will be Baron going over towards the side of Eastern Michigan. 11,000 the gold lead, for 12 kill difference in favor of Eastern, and we'll see how NIU looks to answer this one. Cassiopeia still has not fallen. Maokai only fallen the one time. Same for Varus. Zinzao also has not fallen. And Braum has the most deaths, but that's exactly what you want from your support, is an 0-2 and 11 Braum. Will be doing a nice job of getting into the fights and engaging. Snark needs to be careful. Braum is here. The dash, nicely done, to be able to get away. But this will be Eastern Michigan looking to shove the bot lane in and grab 3 Baroned up super minion waves and just look to siege from there. So see what NIU is able to do. They have Snark trying to put some damage in from the backside. Now Nature's Grasp is going to come in. It is just going to land on towards 1. That's going to be the engage from the side of Eastern Michigan. That's also the ultimate coming through from the Braum. Leona will use her her ultimate. Will not be enough. There's the ultimate from Cassiopeia and the kills and the game. Snark going to try to fight his way back, but it won't matter in the end. Snark going to go ahead and just get some damage. He'll trade 1 back with the Nexus dive. It won't matter, as NIU is going to fall 21-5 in Game 2. About a 13k difference, and Eastern Michigan is going to take the series and continue to show why they are such a strong team this year in the Esports Collegiate Conference. with wins in their last two matches. That likely will be good enough for a playoff spot, but I would guess right now it's looking like that would likely be around the fifth, sixth area, probably sixth, but there is a scenario where they get fifth. So we'll get you guys that information as we get through these last few games. Uh, Dead even in the damage from these ADCs, both doing 20.7K. But obviously, Zin's out, able to have a little more agency in this one. Darius just got pretty well zoned off every fight. And so the gold graph really shows you. And you did keep it very close. In fact, it was dead even at about 8 minutes. But unfortunately, from about 12 minutes onward, things started to go in favor of Eastern Michigan, and they were able to take over the map. So, unfortunate outcome for the Huskies here. Again, they fall to 5-5 on the year. They'll play again on Saturday against Bowling Green, 2 p.m. Central Time, and that one will be live here on the Twitch channel. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Unfortunate outcome. Hopefully, the Huskies are able to turn things around against Bowling Green on Saturday. And stay tuned tomorrow. We've got a couple of Overwatch matches going on this weekend. Tomorrow, we've got it at 7 o'clock against, I believe, Toledo, and then Ohio and NIU is going to be on Sunday at 7 o'clock. As always, I've been Connor Vagel. Thank you to Turtle Beach for sponsoring our program as the official gaming peripheral sponsor of NIU Esports. Thank you to Ethan for helping us out with the production. Things have been great as always. We got to see some new camera angles and everything, so that's always cool. Uh, we'll see you guys on Saturday, and hopefully a Huskies win at that one, or tomorrow if you're an Overwatch fan as well. So hopefully the Huskies win then. So thank you guys once again, and we'll see you at the next broadcast.